Hi, Liana. So we have very interesting askings from a animal trader from Germany. So maybe you like to tune in.
Wonderful. Let's all tune in together and intend that the highest and clearest answer for everyone to do with this topic is answered very clearly. Just reading the question, please clarify for us, Sandra, whether it is correct, the interpretation. Okay, so the client is an animal, a chick?
And
yes,
yeah,
like a chicken. And then there is another one working on a human being who is also using it at the same time. Both Healy users are in the same room.
Yeah.
And there are two different treatment sessions going on or frequency sessions going on.
Yeah, for each person. So for one person and for one chicken, you know, and she, no?
I have one question for you. Are they a microcurrent session and a quantum field session, or are they both quantum field sessions?
Thank you very much for this thinking and asking. So it's one, on the one hand, it is cable with microcurrent, and on the other hand, it is a with quantum field a session. So it is remote treating, yeah, because the chicken is not living in the house and it's not in the room, it's outside, 100 kilometers outside. But both the Healys are both in one room.
First, let's answer the question related to the actual scenario. Secondly, I would like to answer a question to another hypothetical one, which is, imagine there are two frequency quantum sessions going on with no microcurrent cables, okay? Because I'm sure that people will have both going on in their own private and also commercial or practice use of this. Okay, this is the marvel of working in the quantum field with Healy. It doesn't matter where the client is or what level of creation the client is. It could be a plant, a mineral, a location, a human being, and frequency is anything that is vibrating as a consciousness in a form and also beyond a form. So isn't it wonderful how we have a way of reaching a level of consciousness or a form regardless of time and space, anywhere in any level of creation? This is a marvel in itself. But back to the question, the quantum sensor in the Healy is a very unique thing. With the microcurrent therapy, it's working at the physical level of the body. When the microcurrent user has the straps on and has chosen a Healy program, it's reading that person's energetic signature every 10 seconds and responding to the frequency that is required for that individual person. On the other hand, in the same room, another session is going on that is a resonance therapy session. Firstly, a profile is created for the client. In this case, when you go in to create the profile, it actually asks, is this a person? Is this an animal? Is this a plant? Is this a location? So the file is very, very specific to the actual treatment protocol and who or what it's being done on, which is very, very specific. Then to fine tune how that frequency or number of frequencies can work holistically to a frequency therapy session, we further refine that with the date of birth, the location, maybe a specific intention. So because each of us has a very specific vibration, and there is no soul that exists that is you. You are unique. If it is a human, then it can only reach that person because you take an imprint of that person's frequency, and the Healy will be responding to the intention of that person and also the vibration of that person. Animal consciousness is a little bit different. Animals and those kingdoms belong to a group consciousness. So in this case, you would be connecting to the oversoul of that kingdom. So in this case, the oversoul of the bird kingdom, and then the consciousness of chicken, and then this particular chicken, which may have a name and a specific intention for that chicken. So those frequencies with the intention of the person giving the session and the consciousness of who or what is receiving the session will be very, very specific. Just like a phone call, when you ring a mobile phone and that call goes directly to that person's number and you pick up the phone on the other end and those two people are communicating, this is how frequency is working. It's so fine-tuned, it goes exactly to that dial-up number. So 2 sessions can be in the same room, having a unique purpose, and then there's the bigger picture, which is in the infinite field of awareness and the coherence field, 2 sessions that are happening are affecting all of consciousness as a collective as well. So here we are, as we raise frequency and fine-tune everything back to its original harmony, so too do we affect mass consciousness as well.
Yes, thank you very much. It is truly hard, as I feel it true, that it comes from your heart, and it touches my heart too. And for me, you know, I like to exchange an experience I did last week, because I like it to try to, for example, to use 2 Healys on the same time on one person and on me, you know. I tried to run the coherence, and I tried to run a individual program. It was one hand, it was the coherence, and on the other hand, it was gold program. So it was horrible for me, you know, because it splitted my, it feels like it splits me, as you know. After 3 minutes, I quit it. But I wanted to make this experience. How does it feel, you know? But it was, of course, it was the same picture, it was the same data, it was the same person, and it was not depending on one room. For example, if somebody is treating me outside, for example, I don't know. So this is not ethical, okay, you know, but I like to say it because one in our group asked me, how can I treat remote, you know? So and I said to her, please don't play remote without asking the person, because if I treat myself and another person, I drive in my car, I'm treating the same time, for example, coherent state, and another person has my data, and ran, for example, my job program. So I have really a problem, because I'm so sensitive. What is your thinking about this?
This is such an exciting question. And I would like to just speak, I guess, into the possibility that there are many different facets, just like diamond has different facets. And we are multidimensional, and we have receptor sites in our body that can access every level of consciousness like no other being. So, with the divine design of the human being and the way we were created, we are limitless. What about if you could assign the consciousness that's requiring the program that was designated for a specific purpose, and all the levels of your consciousness that require to experience coherence, and different levels of all that you are actually being holistically creating a space for multidimensional as a healing model. We have this as a possibility when we're doing healing work, but in the evolution of all of that, it is useful to remember that we are all frequencies, and therefore we can harmonize with bundles of frequencies on many levels. If someone is sensitive, what I would probably do is get them used to each microcurrent individually. And this also happened with someone else, but with a bundle of different frequencies that came up with a resonance treatment protocol, because we looked at the 5 different components that were chosen by the Healy for the thing that they requested. And this was when we first started working with Healy. And what fascinated me was we were doing a consciousness session with energy, and Healy was helping with the integration process.
Yes.
Now, just as an iceberg that's showing itself above the ocean looks very specific, but you have no idea what's under the surface, for this person, a can of worms, just like Pandora's box opened. And it was so overwhelming, they had a major healing crisis. So a couple of days later, we checked in with each other, and it's like, I'm not doing so well. I am overwhelmed and feeling like every emotion under the sun amplified. And I said, okay, I have an idea. What about, just like in the microcurrent sessions, you have 0 to 100. You ask that the intensity is only a small percentage, and that your body remembers its original vibration, and that whatever you need at a homeopathic level is gifted to you, so that you have a graceful, beautiful session each time, and that your body remembers its original vibration, and that the insight into what is behind each pattern is shown to you, so that each process and each stepping stone of your life can be honored and blessed and integrated. So then just toning the frequencies down and having a homeopathic level, everything harmonized beautifully, and step by step that intensity could be increased. So why I'm, I guess, sharing this is, it is our mastery to master all frequencies, and our whole lives we have been trying to escape some things and desire to be in a different place. What if we were just embracing what we were experiencing right now, and we could go into a oneness state with it? Who knows what would reveal behind those closed doors that we've never been able to access? And then the more we open and welcome all those different parts of us that we've forgotten, we create that wholeness, like that field very organically and naturally. So yes, like with any new thing, it's going to feel awkward and sometimes experiencing a bit of discomfort or growing pains is very natural. But as we breathe, just remembering to breathe, so much can be transformed just through the actual breath itself, and it harmonizes very quickly. Or there'll be a release or a healing crisis. We move through it very quickly, and then it harmonizes.
Yeah, I know. And thank you very much. This is so enlightened. And, she asks too, for example, we were told from Dr. Michael Chen that we might treat animal only with cable and coil only 5% strength. And and he said that we don't give the Healy on, for example, the I don't know how to call, like this fixing on the animal, and like, for example, if we have a dog, he has a bracelet, and then we can give it here like it is shown in the information on the picture of the animal program. And so I said to my group, please don't fix the Healy on it. And there was a very clever person. She asked me the question that she said, okay, but if I send a program remotely to an animal, the frequency is following the group, soul group. So what is right for her? So maybe you can give some sentences for this thinking.
I love these questions.
Me too.
There are two things. The microcurrent is delivered directly to the physical biosphere. So the bioenergetic, the biological part of the body. So the current of that going through the wires is very different to something that's vibrating in the quantum field as a consciousness. So when we're focusing on a thought, the thought is drawing a waveform pattern. Let me share it a different way. With animals, and this was, I guess, something that I came across when we're sharing and learning about energy work in different facets and forms. We learn from really incredible people. And one of the things that I'm very grateful for was understanding how telepathic messages can be sent and received. And with the animal kingdom, one of the things that I know that people use who are working as intuitives with animals, like animal whisperers, they send a thought to the animal in a picture. So say a dog or a cat is not feeling well or has moved house or has a change of owners, and you want that animal to feel safe, or it's feeling distressed or it's not feeling well, you would send it a telepathic message of it being loved and welcomed and nourished in that home environment and that it is safe, or a vision that the animal is in the best health ever, doing all the fun stuff that they love to do in all their favorite places. And the animal would receive that telepathic message and interpret it. And it's different to that language that would be spoken to a human being, which would be interpreted. So animals see in pictures, and you could also send that to the group consciousness and to the individual animal. And telepathically, this is almost like how the frequencies in the quantum are working. Now, frequencies in the quantum do not have a dial. They are just vibrating. How much you are able to absorb of that frequency is depending on your cellular integrity and the vibration. Because it's just like a dial on a radio station. If you don't know the radio station, even though the waves are going out there and other people are listening to it, you will not be listening to the same tunes because you'll be dialed into a different radio station. So part of the intent is that the animal is receiving that frequency and your focus is on that wholeness. And it's the same with all frequencies in the quantum. Whereas with the microcurrent, it is very specific to the person receiving it and it is working on their cellular structure.
Yeah. And so thank you very much for your wonderful words. And I like to extend your thinking and your, yes, how can I say, your gift, which you have. Let's intend to see that we can speak with over picture with the animal kingdom and can send the specific animal which we like to address, to say, okay, if it's enough for you, you can quit the treatment as you like. Yeah, so I always ask before I treat with the animal. I'm speaking with the animal with my third eye, concentrating on the animal. And then I ask the soul of the animals and ask the animal itself. And they exactly say what time they need before I treat. So this is the way we can go if we like. And you know, if you are an animal communicator, you can do it like this. It's easily for you.
I love that you're already intuitively and on a practical level applying all of this and you knew exactly what to do. And what's interesting is in the quantum, there is zero. So beyond time, you can nominate a time or say that 10 minutes is like 10 hours in the quantum field, and you program time if you want to, or you can work in no time. And what you have just spoken into, Sandra, is the possibility of working in no time, and that the animal will receive whatever it wants to already because you intended that. The animal has also on a consciousness level understood that language that you have spoken intuitively. They feel that. So soul to soul communication. Never underestimate the power of intent. Some people would call this prayer.
Yeah,
but whether it's prayer or intent that you call it, it doesn't matter. It is a very specific decision to refine or direct energy for the highest outcome of that soul consciousness, to experience wholeness and harmony.
of course. Absolutely right. I will look up for another question. Maybe we are ready now, but I don't know. Excuse me. She asked, I don't know exactly what the question is, but I tried to read it, okay, for you. So she asked, the coil should not be further than 60 centimeter away from the animal. I don't know where she knows it, you know, because she bought 2 Healys on the weekend, so it's only 3 days now. So very, very intelligent, you know, she catched it somewhere, you know. So otherwise, it doesn't have as much influence. With a quantum, she means QH, she means quantum healing session, you know. I know they are all working with quantum healing, and the animal cannot move away either. I think that, okay, so this we answered because we are speaking before we treat, we speaking how much they need. One sec. Okay, so this is all. So do you, did I ask you properly? Because
Yeah.
she's, yeah, okay.
Yeah. This is wonderful because obviously she's either very intuitive, this beautiful person, or she's been listening to some of the talks by our founder, Marcus Schmicker, who is very passionately speaking about the use of the coil and why he wears it just over the thymus, because it's integrating the head and the heart. And also, when we're working with the coil, you have the coil wherever you would like that treatment or part of the body to receive that treatment session or the frequency session. So if it's around your solar plexus, then maybe you could have it in your pocket. If you would like to experience more coherence, you would have it in this place here to integrate the heart and the mind. And in proximity to the body, because you're not having the microcurrent and it's working on the body level and also on the consciousness level. So that's just the way it was designed to work. And I don't know, Lorenz maybe he's got a really good idea about this too, because I know he's looked into it a little bit more and he has experience with working with frequency devices prior to Healy as well. But with this particular protocol, with the actual coil, it is best when it's close to the body and close to the area that's being treated.
Yeah. So if she treats remote, she don't need a coil, right?
She would be working with the resonance program instead. That's how you would do a remote session.
So yes.
I'm not sure though, with the full protocol for taking care of animals and doing animal sessions. I don't have any experience with that side of it, so I'm not able to answer very specifically relating to animals. Maybe there's someone else that would be versed in things like that. But with us, with humans, it is best in the area of the session, as in wherever that session is required. And if we're working remotely, we work with the resonance.
So working with the resonance, I only want to ask if I'm right. So for you, you understand working with the resonance. You understand working with the Blue app programs, right? Which are not, yes, which are not in the pink app, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay. So this is the same understanding I have, and I experience with some animals who were very ill, very far away. The owners asked me if I can treat them, and the Blue app analysis showed me to play several pink apps. So I decided on my intuition and asked the animal soul, what can I do for you? And the animal soul was responding that I might play the pink app program with the coil and the intention. And I asked how long time, and it was only 1 minute or 2 minutes, and it works. Yeah. And so it's my definition. It is not an official definition, and I learned it from nobody. It is only my definition, I like to say.
And see, I would like to share that this is where, intuitively we are shown things that other people might feel are not possible. But with the level that you work on and what has been shown to you, mind over matter belief, is a powerful thing. And I had a vision while you were just speaking into this, and I totally, can relate, because I would actually have templates that I used to work with, and I would be working on different levels of consciousness with people in the past, and also using readings, which of course are also frequency, with the power of intent, and that they receive the transmissions in specific parts of the body. Or you're using a picture of the person or the animal, and you can place the microcurrent on the part of the body that you're treating. So, it's as creative as you are. Why
Yeah.
not?
Why not? And the next thing is, this is the last question I like to know from you. It is so amazing. A client from Hong Kong asked me, Sandra, she knows me since 2010 now. And she asked me, Sandra, if I buy a Healy, can I treat aura surgery then too, like you? And, she's a pilot from a plane, So I asked her the question, so my dear, if I buy a Healy from you, can I drive your plane too? So my question is now to you. So my question is now from you. The Healy might be a very specific and simple wearable to transport its resonances and frequencies, but what influence does our consciousness have to the treatments we do with Healy? What do you think? What is your own opinion?
My goodness. Okay. This is one of those next level questions, isn't it? Because it's involving planes now.
Yeah, I love it. I love this question.
What I love is that, not anyone could just get into a plane and have liftoff and landing gracefully. Regardless of who is using a Healy, they're going to get an incredible session, because each program is so unique and so incredible. The experience of 30 or 40 years of study, thousands and thousands of transformation sessions, the attunement or initiation level of the person and their ability to channel and work with energy, that is very unique to that person. So yes, two people can work with a Healy, but they might have very different sessions depending on what is happening in that session, what the intention is, what the inquiry is, what level of depth you would go into. That depends on the scope of that person and where they would even direct the energy and into what. For example, your creativity just mentioned 5 seconds earlier about the way you were going to work with an animal in a very unique way. Someone else may not think of that, so therefore they wouldn't get that kind of session. So driving or like flying a plane is one thing, and having a wearable device, anyone can wear the device, but what kind of treatment or energy work session they would experience is going to be unique to the person that is facilitating it and the intention of the client as well. The beautiful thing is frequency itself is universal and the program is specific. And also a reminder that even if you ran the same microcurrent session program in 2 days in a row on the same person, the numbers would change because they are no longer the person they were yesterday, and their harmonic frequency in their wholeness field would have changed or shifted. They would no longer be the same person or require the same sequence of numbers. So every session is unique.
Yes, and if you get these frequencies from this unbelievable experienced persons, people from Healy. Healy is the little brother or sister, whatever you like to say, yeah, from Time Wafer. And this is so unique, this knowledge, and you will never be the same person after running Healy's frequencies. I'm pretty sure that you have the chance to live your potential of what your astrological potential gives you exactly, and more than that, because the astrological potential is in a little scope. If we see it in comparison to the cosmic options we might have, I don't know. You are the specialist for this, yes?
I think we all are. The stars are with us.
Okay, the stars are with us. So I have
within us.
yes, I have a last question from a group member. It was so nice. She comes from Switzerland, and she asked me, can I save time with Healy, because I always meditate several hours a day to be in my how can I say, center, yeah. And so what is your opinion on this?
Wonderful. It may add to everything.
Yeah.
But there is nothing quite like your own connection. It will be, of course, different if you add frequencies into that as well. It will be a different blend, just like adding another spice and another spice into a curry.
Yeah.
Or into, another, like all the different components that make up a meal. The flavors are different. So the flavors are different. Yeah.
Yeah, the flavors are different. Yeah.
Experience. And the other side of it is where you may have required to meditate for many hours a day to have a specific sense or feeling or state of being. You can put your Healy in your pocket and go about your daily activities, make maximum use out of your day, and still have a high vibration and keep yourself enhanced and in the best space any time of the day, all day. And it has whatever you need uniquely, and then your body remembers as a result of being reminded by the frequency how it's vibrating, and then it can step into that vibration and vibrate this all the time. So that is often why people meditate, so that they can, achieve a state of being, whether it's stillness of mind or clarity or peak performance, whatever it is. And Healy can also give you that frequency.
Yes, and what I like to say further into that topic is that I was very overwhelmed when I listened to Dr. Chen. It was a couple of weeks ago. I understand that he says that if we use the coil, for example, in an office environmental, I am fully protected, during it runs. So I was really overwhelmed and very excited to get this consciousness for this. And so from this moment, I ran the coil with a fully other consciousness. And what I recognized for myself was, for example, if I ran the oral analysis, or I ran coaching analysis, and I see the spiritual things like it, which is called in LM potencies. I always know now, for me, it is my environmental, because I experienced it. And so last time there was a thing, I don't know exactly, but the coaching program was playing such a sentence like, there is a drama in your environment thing, and exactly one day after, a couple tried to pull me in their drama, and I remember to that sentence and says, okay, it's you. So I love it, really. I love it, really, to use that variable.
Yeah, wonderful.
So
Because
this
it's
is,
picking up on energy.
yeah. This is pure meditation for me. If I read the first sentences of the aura analysis or of the coaching analysis, and be aware what can it say to me, what do I interpret, because we are the world, we are interpreted every second, and if something does not fit to me, I am not fitting to me. And it's so funny to see, to know, and to say, okay, does I like this? No, I don't like myself, so I can get rid of sometimes. Isn't it fine?
Well, the beautiful thing is we can transform anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. We can. We can raise it all into a beautiful, coherent consciousness that has a place for everything in wholeness. And everything that we see and experience is our creation, including the things that are manifested in it. All our creation to show us or teach us or help us reflect on something that we have forgotten or that we're working towards or to honor. Yeah.
So
something wonderful and very special is happening, in every single moment we create.
of course, so I highly recommend to play the coherent state program every day. What do you think about this?
My favorite program, definitely. Out of all of them, it's probably the one that I go to the most because it's intuitive. And often, if I'm sleeping, obviously there's very specific programs. Even today, we covered, the job and the sleep programs. And often it will be coherence that intuitively my consciousness wants to receive. Because when we're going into that deep, deep state, that is that return to zero, while we're sleeping, we can't interfere too much with anything. So it's nice to do that in a oneness state. And just wanted to also, you were speaking into work environment and other people's energies and all of these different things. There is actually a program page on in the Healy microcurrent and also in the resonance that actually is an assistance for planetary, geopathic,
Yes.
EMF, and all the things that we are affected by or affect us in our environment, to harmonize that and also neutralize the effects of different things so that we can actually be in more of a zero state. Either when we're resting, we're sleeping, or when interference fields are too much and we are overwhelmed by our environment. So these are also a really beautiful set of programs to explore, and they sometimes come up in readings.
So today, this is the 8th of December 21, and we have very high Schumann frequencies today. I was called by approximately 50 people, and they
Wow.
spent, yeah, really called. I did not take it, but I got the telegram information or SMS and WhatsApp. So they all have pain today and problems today because of the higher frequencies. So for me, yesterday and the day before yesterday, I wondered myself because that protection programs comes up 3 to 9 times for me, and I played like the analysis said, and I'm not affected today. Not affected.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we
Yeah.
follow that, our high consciousness, we are always right. For me, it is correct.
And on that same note, whatever is hidden and trapped or crystallized in the body on high frequency days, when the energy of the plasma frequency is going up and up and up, whatever is dense cannot stay in its pattern anymore. So to be liberated, it's almost like it has to be dissolved. So whatever has been unattended to will surface because it has not been loved back into wholeness or it has been suppressed. And sometimes these are the signs that the body is giving us that we have not paid attention to those parts of ourselves. And we can transform the energy in that time or bless whatever we have manifested and release it, or intend that we are going to transform whatever has not been transformed back into its original divine vibration. And again comes the power of intention every single time. And we do not spend a lot of time with our soul and our consciousness. Most of our attention is going to the physical world, and therefore it becomes about giving and taking energy. And it's very, very depleting. So wherever this is played out in patterns or something that is inherited, like hereditary patterns, etc., some of these clearing processes are running deep into the family bloodlines or patterns that our ancestors have had. And in times like this, when cosmic portals are opening, those energies are trying to return home.
Yeah.
So there'll be a vessel that will be chosen as a member of the family where that will transform through. And
Oh,
sometimes it can be happening as well. So it depends on each person. It can be many things. Transformation of a dis-ease or a discomfort, a liberation, a reflection, or the journey of the soul.
mhm.
The
Oh,
liberation of a pattern for a family bloodline, a soul family, our genetic families, also collective consciousness, because we're all here, even though, we are all sharing time and energy with each other, we all have all these different other projects and unique purpose for our incarnation.
yes, and until I am not genetically liberated, I need to come around with the several influences which come down from the planet, from this, from that, from the morphogenetic field, from the environment, from the neighborhood, from the nature, whatever influence we have, Healy can help us. And
Absolutely.
yes, and for me, Healy is a variable, it is like a bridge to get my consciousness, and then the next step is to be genetic liberation. So this is the next step. I think we all must go, not must, but can go if we are attracted by, we feel it from heart. And because every person has a own thing to do in this life. For example, some of us are givers, some of us are energetic takers, some of us are energetic transformators. They transform, they take the energy from someone and take it somewhere. We don't know what is going on, but it is like this. So be aware who you like, be aware always how much energy you give, and take enough for yourself that you can live without discomfort, without disharmony. So be aware to take enough energy that you can live, that you can that you can live with good luck and with a good harmony. So this is my opinion,
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And the more we plug into the cosmos and recharge from our own consciousness and call back all the energy that we give out and that is taken from us, the pillar becomes brighter and lighter and stronger, and we are sustained. And then Healy is just fine-tuning all our frequencies.
Yeah. And when are you teaching? Is there a date when are you start to teach the genetic liberation?
That is something, I guess, that is more the space where we come back to ourselves and we take an intention for the things that we want to make peace with and honor. So it's not so much that we become genetically liberated, it's that there is a possibility that all human beings can transcend their karma. Some of it is a little bit of hard work and reflection and some kind of spiritual practice. But if you're asking, will there be a space for us all to come together and receive some transmissions from our own soul and take intentions together so we can all fulfill and be one with our destiny and our highest expression, and just really awaken all our gifts and bring them to the surface and celebrate them in joy, then yes, I think in the new year will be a wonderful time. It's going to be a powerful year in 2022. And the more of us that come together and create intention together, the more powerful that group consciousness is.
Yeah.
And people we attract with the same vibration into our soul family. And look at what is happening already. And we're just beginning to scratch the surface. So yes, I fully believe it is possible because we are able to transmit and receive and transform anything. And part of it is just knowing how powerful and incredible we are.
Yeah. And so if I have a customer from Australia, so I can send them to you for coachings, right?
We can all work together, yes, and create something depending on what everyone is needing. And that's how it's been so far. Whatever comes up in the group conversations and people decide this is something that I'd like to explore, then we will create something together, because all of us with our combined talents will create a far more fabulous and incredible program than one person uniquely by themselves.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that way we are able to holistically focus on many different areas, and that is incredibly powerful. So together, yes, we will create that.
Yeah, together we will create that, and I'm looking forward that what we are doing the last months and weeks. And I'm so happy that we three are together. You know, I'm a little alternative practitioner for the stomach and the intestine since 13 years now. And so now this is the very big world. Whoa, I am overwhelmed. I'm so happy. And so, okay, thank you very much, you both. And yes.
Thank you.
So, okay. See you again.